Good morning. Today is Thursday, October 20th, 2022. Looking at ES trading plan for today. I'm going to try to do this very quickly. So very importantly, we are trading in balance, in range, and we're likely going to open there. But we're also above the 20 moving average, which is the trend indicator to the downside. So there's been a change, and we've held above it. This is going to be a critical inflection point. Right now it's at 36.86 roughly. This can change throughout the day a little bit, and that's going to be it's going to play into all the stories that have to deal with the short side. So I'll talk about that in a second. All right, let's importantly, so I have a trend, MACD is a trend indicator, and the rotational, because we do kind of have a rotational balance in here on the stochastics, that's also pointing up. So things would indicate to the upside, but we have had some jobless news, or the initial jobless claims this morning came out at 8:30 Eastern. Then at 10 a.m. we have I think existing home sales. So these are some things to maybe be patient and wait for, to kind of get any, see if anything happens that might change the direction. So because anything can happen, right? So all right, let's move this out of the way. And we're looking, you can see that mostly, even though these are big ranges, you got a zigzag here and a zigzag there and a zigzag there. By and large, it's rotational. Settlement is right here. So we don't really have any inventory long or short in the overnight. The perception of value from yesterday is slightly lower, and it's kind of maintained that in the other night, in the overnight. In fact, it's sort of it also is a little bit overlapping to lower. You see. Importantly, we have a poor low between the overnight low and yesterday's low, and we have a poor high from yesterday, which I talked about in the follow-up video. And again, I know the chart here is busy with lots of lines and things, but that's okay. So this red line right here, 36.86, I'm going to watch it throughout the morning and day. This is the 20 moving average on the regular trading hours right here. So it's 3685.93. I wish the chart would allow me to round to the tick, but they don't. So I just put it 3686, and I'll just watch it. So we may get just like yesterday. We came down and went below a little bit, but it rejected out of there. This is going to be really important. So I have a hard time seeing it, even though we do have a poor low, really trucking on down. If we do, the likely destination is going to be, this is, you know what? I think this is, forget this white line. Let's just look at, take it a piece at a time. Tuesdays, let's see here. So we got yesterday's, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday's low. So Monday's range here. And one thing to consider, this is really important. I talked about this also in the Monday was a normal day. The range was completely within the initial balance. This means that if we come into this, we have fallen into this balance. And even though there's different shades of balance in here, sort of the overriding principle is going to be like, okay, we might get down to the other side of balance. So that might mean if we take out the overnight low, we get down, a bit through it. All right, let's bring in the trading ideas here and call it a day, call it a morning. So open in range and value, 80% rule to the downside in plays before the open. I do need to point this out. Okay, so if I split this out, we had news at 8:30. I talked about this yesterday as well. This is yesterday's value area high right here. We traded above it, came back in W period after the news, and then we are still maintaining that move to the value area low. Actually, just like yesterday's review, I'm going to call it. It's sort of complete. We came within a point here. Came down to 93, and this is 91.50. Okay, so a point and a half came there. Could call it done, really. But we may get it come all the way down through here to the contract volume point of control, which is slightly below it, or that 20 moving average. But anyway, the idea would be the 80% rule is in play. It's still in effect, really. And we get on board to a move towards the value area low, prior low a day, which is also a poor low with the overnight, which I already mentioned. So the next thing would be open in range and value, failure to continue below the value area low, which is sort of happening right now. Rotate towards the value area high. If we came out and came back in, you could call that the 80% rule back in play to the upside. So, watch for that. We often get one move in right off the bat, and then a change of direction later on. So we need to be mindful of that, especially since we got news at 10. So watch for a prairie dog of the overnight low or value area low. Overnight value area low even. Got to move that up. That's always changing, right? Let's see here. Lost my sheet. Okay, so the next thing would be we develop value below the value area low, take out the overnight low, prior low a day, continuation to the other side of the initial balance from Monday, which I just talked about. The idea in 3A would be to get long or short against inflection points from anywhere you want to, if you believe that's where we're going, or once it seems we're underway to, we're aiming for that. The train kept a rolling all night long, down, 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 okay? Watch for one-time framing. What do I mean by that? Well, you have to wait for, you can either count the hour before the overnight, or excuse me, hour before the open. This is my rules here. You can count the hour before the open, watching for one-time framing. That would mean if we open right now in A and we tick 2 ticks above this, it's not in play anymore. Or you can count on a smaller time frame, watching for one time framing on a smaller time frame, and I've talked about that before. So I'm not going to keep repeating it. It's kind of my own market profile insights and developments over the years. All right, 3B. Rejection out of Monday's range, meaning we get down here. Okay, first 3A has to happen. Rejection out of Monday's range signals a possible new business and rotation higher. Basically, a change of direction. All right. Once again, the critical area that would mean basically. Let me just put it this way. I can see this happening. We come down here. We make a pretty significant move. Even take out the overnight low. If we don't start developing value and stay below, you don't see bars closing below 36.86 or wherever it happens to be. You have to watch it, and then get above it. If we get back above it, start looking for that was it. That was just the stab down, and it's going to rise above that again and continue to balance or move higher today and maybe over the next few days. All right, next thing would be move above the prior high a day. That means Tuesday's or Wednesday's high with a run for Tuesday's overnight high and Tuesday's high. Let's see. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Move towards prior high day, which would be Wednesday's. That would be yesterday. Yesterday's high day with a move towards Tuesday's overnight high, which we never took out. And then Tuesday's high, which was never taken out. Remember, it was only a point above the overnight from Monday to Tuesday. All right, likely a trend day if this happens because it's quite a ways away. So you want to get long. I want to get long. Get long upon acceptance and value development above the value area high or anywhere before that, right? If you sense this is happening. There's always the initiating people, the early adopters, the early majority, the late majority, and the laggards. There's all that stuff. So if you get long before that, believing this is where it's going, and you trade accordingly, you're going to be kind of an early adopter. All right, value development above value. Get long upon acceptance and value development above value area high. And also this will be important to note. Pay attention to what doesn't happen. If none of this stuff happens to the downside, that might be an indicator. Hey, we might be doing this today. Take profit, reload against inflection points for a likely choppy move higher. Unless this thing just takes off like a shot after 10 a.m. because we haven't had such an explosive reaction after the 8:30 news. There may be a bit pickup, of course, once 9:30 hits, but we do have a lot of. Let me show you this. In the overnight, we've got a lot of anomalies. In the overnight prior, there's some anomalies up here. There were a lot of indecision, and that means, and there's anomalies up here. And as we come up, there's going to be probably some pushback, some fight, some people that are getting. I don't know about this whole concept defending positions, but people who are trapped, and there's just maybe some violent moves, short stabs one way or the other that. You know what I'm talking about, where it kind of surprises you, and if you have tight stops, it can just whip you out of stop in a blink of an eye. Don't know what happened. The price jumped. Those kind of moves. All right. That's it for today. See you later. Thanks a lot. Bye.